you
Okay.
have to start talking.
Hi, so we're finally live with Rujuta. I think not just, I think the globally famous Rujuta Diwekar. I think someone who's so talented, so amazing, somebody who's always guided me. And of course, yet again, at I think one of the most important phases in my life, she's right there with me. In fact, we just started on an amazing diet just exactly 10 days ago, and I think well, it's working wonders. So I know everyone's dying to ask 100 questions out there. So let's start chatting. And of course, the maestro, the artist. She's the artist. I'm just like whatever she says.
No, but I think you're already looking so good. You've lost so much weight.
Well, yeah, I think it's started. The process is started. That's the most important thing, because I think the idea is to have faith. I mean, everybody says that I'm on a diet and I'm not going to eat this and I'm only going to eat that. I think the idea is that when Rujuta came and I finally met her after I delivered, which was what, 10 days ago?
Just about
10 days ago, and I was in panic mode, and I was like, listen, we have to do something that is going to accelerate this, because I have to do it, and I really want to, and I'm going to be very dedicated. I think the only thing that she always says is that I need to have faith. That's the most important in her, in the fact that she's going to guide me and tell me that this is what it's going to be. Whether it's eating good at 8 o'clock, she'll be like, just have it, and I'm like, no, but it's fattening, and why? She's like, then don't do it. Then don't ask me, just have it. So I'm blindly following her, and I'm sure the results. Just last night I sent her a picture of my goals. So I'm always like, realistically, how long, Rujuta, for this? So she's set a target, so let's see, ask her what the target is.
Well, I think the target has always been to take it a step at a time and not really rush the process, because we don't want to go one step forward and 2 steps backwards, which is essentially what happens any time that we do anything that is crash or extreme. So one of the best things about Kareena is that her diet has always been a very sustainable one, something which always makes people feel that she's just lying through her teeth, because she cannot be possibly eating all this and losing weight. Because even right now, when she distributed till sweets between all the photographers, they said, "Ye sugar free hai kya?" But it's not sugar free.
Rujuta is very against the word sugar free. Yeah, if I tell her that what is this, can we use this? Should I put sugar free and have my tea? Should I do this? She's like, no. Little sugar and have it, because that is what is going to be consistent. That is what is going to last a lifetime. So let's see. I think it's going to be a very challenging phase for both, both of us right now, because we've just started. We're not even in phase 1. We're actually just laying all the groundwork to, what is the final run. I think she's given it about, she's told me 7 months.
7 months
so
to get back in great shape. But I think she's already looking good, and I'm sure you will all agree. Slimmer on the waist, glowing on your face, already your face cut and stuff is...
Well, we're trying. That's the most important thing, is that, I'm trying without making any compromises. That's the most important thing, The idea is that I enjoyed my pregnancy, and I think the world saw it. It was for the world. I had support from my fans, from the media, from everyone, and I was just flaunting it because I enjoyed myself. I think I carried Taimur with a lot of strength and a lot of energy, a lot of joy that I'm going to share it with my fans. I put on 18 kilos, but I flaunted it till the day I walked into the hospital. I don't care. I was being photographed from different angles, and I was like, oh my god, my double chin is showing, and my friends and my sister and all would be like, listen, you're pregnant, it's fine. So it's getting there, it's all coming off, but it's coming off with
with love and patience.
Love and patience, and that's the most important. The most important thing is that I enjoyed my pregnancy. I ate well. I think that's the reason. I think I say it with a lot of pride that I think he's the most gorgeous child, not because he's mine. Because I think he's very, very good looking. Because yes, he has the Pathan genes, of course, but he has that because I ate a lot of ghee, I ate a lot of all the things that, what people, like, okay, you don't eat this, you can still eat grilled fish and you can still eat this. I was like, no, I want to do it like the conventional way, I want to do it the right way, and I kind of enjoyed it. And like, so all the ghee, all the parathas, all the pizzas have gone into it. It's fine. That's what Rujuta was like, don't compromise, eat, but of course eat right every 2-3 hours, which was happening quite naturally.
Yeah.
And so we're continuing it, but of course things have changed now.
Yeah. Because I think now it's much more stricter, and I was also telling her that, just one pregnancy is a lot of cost on the calcium levels.
I didn't know that. That is something that I think most females should know. It's such an important thing what you said, that in one pregnancy you lose 5 years of calcium in the body. I mean, I think that's insane. So to kind of get back, which also accelerates the fitness levels and weight loss, is to accelerate the calcium. And from that, like, because the first thing when she gave me, like, she was giving a lot of yogurt, she's always like, have a glass of milk every day in the night, if you're hungry. And I'm like, no, but people are like, we should be dairy free. Yeah, but she's like, no, there's no, you have to have, there's so much calcium in it, you have to drink it. So I was like, oh my god. So, well, yeah, I've been having a tall glass of milk every night and I'm enjoying it, like, I'm loving it. And, of course, so is my son, and that's why my son is also, enjoying whatever I'm eating and enjoying whatever Rujuta is giving us to eat.
Yeah. Also, dairy has a lot of CLA, that's conjugated linoleic acid, which is actually something that helps you burn more fat, and also short chain fatty acids, which lead to mobilization of fat from stubborn fat areas, which is what every post-pregnancy woman is looking for, which is why Bebo's flaunting such a thick waist.
Listen, that's fine, but yeah, but the stubborn areas, then if you ask Rujuta that the stubborn areas, how long, why is it not showing, why is it not coming out? The typical questions which I think every woman has on her mind is, of course, when am I going to, lose weight in these stomach area or the thighs or different kinds of areas that people don't even genuinely talk about. Women don't like to, say that also. But Rujuta is always like, no, for that we have to eat fat to burn that fat. And I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? But yeah, I'm obviously following her and I'm seeing results, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, and your coffee.
And my coffee. Put sugar, no?
Yeah,
sugar with milk, yeah. I can't have that. I need my at least chai and coffee with my milk, and that's something that I think everybody knows about me, that I really relish that, but of course she's restricted it. You can't have like 3 cups a day, but she always allows, I think, 2 cups. One in the morning and one in the evening is something that,
correct, but not as the first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah. That, I think that's become a global Rujuta. Yeah. So whoever I meet, wherever in the world I am, they're like, one thing is that I don't wake up and I have tea or coffee. I have a fruit or I have something, and then I'm following Rujuta's diet. I'm like, yeah, but what happens the rest of the day? That's also important.
Yeah, but I think, you have like solid global fame. I mean, I think, as in, I know, everyone knows that. Even right now in Kuwait, the way I get introduced at all times, and I take a whole lot of pride and joy in it, is as Kareena Kapoor's dietitian.
So once again we have to show the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I keep taking all the credit for her good looks and her slim figure, and eventually for
my skin also. I think Rujuta, I have to say something about her, is that I don't think she is just a dietitian. I think calling her that is actually an insult to her knowledge, because I think she is somebody who actually knows a lot on the science of things. Whether it's your metabolic rate, whether it's your hormones, whether it's your periods, whether it's your hair fall, your skin, anything that I in fact, sometimes we don't even talk about that. If I need, like, if I want to ask her something about hair fall, if I want to ask her something about, like, I have dark circles, what do I do, what do I eat, she will give you the most natural remedies for things, I think, which both Karishma and me swear by.
Yeah.
you know.
No, even Karishma lost so much weight post-pregnancy. I think she's in much better shape after her pregnancy.
She has helped women. I can, you know, say it, that irregular periods, things that, you know, to get that back in track after pregnancy. A lot of things. I think Rujuta has the science for it, and if you ask her, if you know, people who come and talk to her, she provides natural foods and fats which actually help that to the body. Yes, of course, weight loss is there. We all want to see the supersonic results, and she is a magician, but you have to give her that time and understand, you know, what is happening in your body to really get onto this diet. And the only thing that when I spoke to her, I was like, you know, she always bears in mind that I don't want to diet, I don't want to crash diet where I gain the weight back, I don't want to crash diet where I have, you know, hair fall or bad skin, because I am in a profession that ultimately, even if I'm a few kilos up, but I have to have my face on screen, and, you know, to look good, to maintain that also. That is what I think she always takes care of, you know. Of course, you know, I mean, keeping in mind that every woman's hormones are totally different to come back in order. I have been very lucky, and I think I have been very lucky because I've always, you know, eaten the foods that she's recommended. You know, whether it was the ghee, whether it was the paratha in the morning. Yeah, but she is strict. Like, I can't have like 2, even if I'm like really hungry and I'm like, oh god, I've just worked out. I'm like, okay. I think it's about portion control, it's about, you know, dividing the food. So there's so much science behind it, which is quite amazing, which, you know, I mean, I think the world is now following.
Thanks to you. You know, but I think her scientific understanding about everything, not just food and fitness, is really amazing, because there were at least 25 photographers, but she's the one who pointed out where to take pictures from, where the light is right. And
but now I'm very experienced. If I don't have this much experience, I think I have to have that much. Now I'm like, हाँ थोड़ा सा इधर yeah, I'm like, oh god, what about the top light? Now because this evening light, top light, that I don't want to look like my dark circles are there. Yeah, but I'm sure Rujuta will have a remedy for that. Lot of pregnancy, after pregnancy, a lot of normal girls have been asking me this question, that lot of people got dark circles after pregnancy. You know. And yes, so did I also have. I mean, I still like, you know, I have a little bit, you know.
It will go, it's barely there.
So why don't you tell them what is the right thing, what we should eat?
I'll tell them, but I think before that, what I should tell all the women who are watching is, you know, I think we get overtly critical about the changes in our body, and we really go and look into the mirror at ourselves from this angle, which is an angle that nobody really looks at us from. So we need to be a little kind to ourselves. That's step 1. Step 2 is that all that we really need to do is increase foods which are higher in their B12 and iron content. So, you know, more dahi, more chas, more pickle, because that's something which really helps you.
More tilka laddus.
More tilka laddus.
One. Yeah. Tilka laddus doesn't mean that Rujuta will answer back and say 1. That was the meaning of 1. Not tilka laddus, like as in like, okay, Saif will be watching TV. Rujuta, so many times. Saif, so obviously, I think he's the biggest comedian. Because he's on a diet, and he's like, I'm on a diet and whatever. I said, what are you eating? I'm like, oh, I'm eating this, I don't know what you gave him, not pulao, one of it. But I was like, but you don't have to eat the pulao for the whole building, so much going on, watching TV and eating. I'm like, but she didn't say so much, she said 1 bowl. So the idea is that to enjoy whatever you're eating, but obviously the idea is that, you know,
moderation. To do it in
but most people also feel that if they're just eating, you know, like whether it's grilled chicken or grilled fish, we can eat that much.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count. But that, in fact, like she always says, that turns more into fat than having this much of rice or like, you know, a palm size kind of chapati.
Correct. You know, I mean, right from the first book, I've said this, that the size of our stomach is actually just both our palms. If we open them and look at it, this is the size of our stomach. And we constantly eat much more than this amount. And that's exactly how we get affected by most lifestyle diseases.
You're following Amir?
Amir is following.
What? Palm size. It's not showing that you're following.
I'm eating 4 pounds.
Yeah. You're eating 4 pounds. That's what people are doing.
Yeah. is to just pay attention to what you're eating, because once you're paying attention to what you're eating, then you invariably land up stopping at the right place. You don't overeat, because when you pay attention, you're also much slower in your speed of consumption. Otherwise, you're just bowing food, not realizing what's happening, or being on WhatsApp and eating. I don't
watching TV which you hate
and love.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time Rujuta met me, she was like, "Y'all can't watch TV and eat." I was like, oh my god, and Seth was like, that's the most heartbreaking thing ever, because the whole idea is that when you come home from work, you want to just watch your favorite TV show and you're like, okay, I want to eat my food. But now obviously I think we both have made a conscious effort. We try to make a conscious effort that, okay, don't put on the TV, at least let's finish our meal. Like she said, concentrate on what you're eating and then, go into, watch a bit of television. Of course, she says that we have to sleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah, which you are doing is what you told me.
Yeah, 10 का भी 11 कभी हो जाता है, 11:30 भी human है.
नहीं, don't make it 11:30, max 11.
Yeah, and then Seth's like, what is this? What is this life we are leading? Yeah, then what she's telling us. Why did Rujuta say that we have to sleep at 10? I'm like, yeah, no, what?
Yeah. So the other day when I met her, Seth was telling me that I don't really think this is worth it, constantly watching over what you're eating and being careful and sleeping on time and exercising for that one moment in your life which may never arrive unless of course you're an actor. So I reminded him that, Seth, you are an actor. He said, yes, that's right.
That's true. But yeah, I think this phase, the way I enjoyed my pregnancy, I didn't know what would happen, what is in store for me post-pregnancy. Because I was like, I knew one thing, that I wanted to give, all my time to my son, and of course, Saif and me together also, want to spend time together, because this is such a new addition, so 3 of us could be together. I didn't know what this phase would be like, but I do know that I feel a lot more energetic, a lot more happy, a lot more content. The fact that I'm not obsessing over, that I'm not being able to eat, I'm not being able to eat, I can't eat that, I'm only eating grilled fish, I'm not. I think the fact that I was getting into that mode, and then when I called up Rujuta and I said, I don't think I'm going to do this, because I can't, we need to, follow a pattern where I feel happy, where I feel strong, because I require a lot of strength now. I have to look after my son, I have to look after my husband, I have to work, I am multitasking. For that, I need my brain not to be ratty.
Correct.
I feel people who are not eating and who are, in that sense, they're tired and ratty. And I was like, I can't afford to be like that.
Correct. But I think you're very smart to even realize that.
Yeah, of course I realized that, and I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah. And also, I think, it's very brave of you to say that you had your insecurities about what you're going to look like post-pregnancy, and then after getting back on track is where you feel much more content and happy.
Yeah, sometimes in of course, Pink Villa, my friend is here, na? What is her name? Urvi, my friend from Pink Villa. Sometimes when I'm looking at pictures of Pink Villa, I've just gone out, and y'all, of course, so sweetly y'all carry on. Y'all always write so well about me and Saif, because we love Pink Villa. Yeah.
We love you back.
So I'm always on Pink Villa, because they carry amazing pictures. And I had just delivered, and I was 45 days or something like that, and of course, I happened to read one of the comments, and they were like, she's so overweight. And I was like, that's so unfair. I just delivered 45 days. I know everybody's like, why is she going out? Why is she doing something? I'm like, that's the most normal thing, to have a life, to do things, to still be able to, enjoy every bit. So I mean, it doesn't mean, everything takes time, everything has its place. So I was just like, how can somebody comment and say that I'm overweight? The fact is that I'm trying to, it takes time. I don't want to do this overnight. I can't. People take 1 to 2 years to do this. I might do it in 6 months.
Yes.
With her support, I will do it. But I just don't, I want people to understand that and accept me in every phase.
Okay, now I want to add to this. So just this morning I read a comment on my Facebook page saying Kareena's already looking thin, and it's really unfair because the two of you are putting too much pressure on new mothers
Yeah,
to lose
okay.
tons of weight because she's already lost weight. So I guess, both ways people are going to say things, oh, she's overweight, oh, she's losing weight too quickly.
Yeah, that's because we are constantly being monitored. But yeah, that's fine. I think that it could be, and it's good that you brought up, and you were addressing this issue, because the idea is that it's not to, lose weight. The idea is also to feel, like I said, that when you are eating right, you are feeling happy, you are feeling energetic. I'm not rushing into things and overnight doing it. It is going to be a gradual progression, and it's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to keep your insides and everything that has been changing for the last 9 months, to kind of just start getting it back in order.
Absolutely.
And I remember I asked you this. Let's get on to our Tashan diet.
Yeah.
I said, give me that what you used to give me that that at 7 o'clock. Yes, we were on a very strict diet. We were not. The last meal was very.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like whatever, whether it was a bowl of dal or a bowl of sabzi or whatever. But I was like, let's do that. And I remember you told me, you said, we can't do that now. We have to start in progression. And because I was like, you're giving me too much carbs. I'm eating rice in the night and I'm eating rice in the day. Don't do this to me. She was like, we're lining and we're getting ready and preparing the body. And I think that, I've been following her, and I have, it's been great. I've been feeling great. I'm looking better.
Good, yeah.
So, it is that.
So currently she's on a diet where she's eating rice both times, for lunch and for dinner. And I remember that she was a little, you're worried about the whole thing. And the reason why one needs to eat rice is because rice also allows you to bring back all of the good bacteria that something as strenuous as a delivery, may either wash out or lead to a more compromised gut system. So you need to rebuild your ecosystem, your environment within the gut. And once your environment within the gut is rebuilt, then before you know, you have lost all the weight. So once again, you can go around saying, I'm eating rice for dinner, and everyone can say that, oh, she's lying, So
I think that that's unsaid, that it's faith, it's just understanding, like she said, I was like, we need to do this, we need to get into the crash diet, like let's get into that diet. And she was like, no, the fact that a dietitian and somebody who has her knowledge is like, for her, if she wanted it, she would have been like, yeah, okay, let's just, cut out on everything and just have a bowl of dal in the night. That's it. But she was like, we have to bring it to that progression. It has to, your stomach has to understand its needs first, like you said, and then, we can build to changing the diet.
Yeah, because a lot of times people just do crash things, especially post-pregnancy, and because everyone's in a rush to lose weight. And that's when a whole lot of lifestyle disorders like post-pregnancy thyroid and stuff develop, because you crash the diet so much, you reduce the calorie intake to such a point that your body is forced to slow down its metabolism. I think it's very important that all women understand that the only thing that we cannot risk is forcing the body to feel like it's deprived, and therefore slow down its metabolic rate and then gain weight in the long term instead of really, constantly losing it. Because it's important to not just lose weight, but to rebuild all of the bone and the muscle density. Because when we really look at women and we tell what their age is, we subconsciously calculate their lean body weight, we subconsciously calculate how much is their bone and muscle weight, because the more bone and muscle you carry, the more compact you look, and the less bone and muscle you carry, the more flabby you look. So when you crash on a diet, you could lose weight, but you're going to look flabbier and older. And the worst thing is that even if you do fit into a jeans which is smaller than what you were wearing earlier, the minute you pin it up, there is fat which comes on top, so everyone can see that it's all falling off like that, and then you need to, why you laughing?
No, but she's right, because that is true, because I know, because I've experienced it, of course, that the idea with her diet is, I think it not just makes you lose weight, because like on the scale, I remember I'm always like, so why am I not losing weight? Why am I not losing weight earlier?
Correct, yeah.
Of course, this was, much before I got pregnant, when, during Kambaktish also used to be, and I would be like, but in the mirror when I would look, my body would have a certain tone to it.
Yeah.
But I would lose inches, but I would not like be on the scale I was dropping.
Yeah.
So I think the idea, like she said, is that when it's crash dieting, you kind of lose that water in the body where you can get into a pair of jeans, but it'll still have that slide.
The flap will still come on top.
Yeah.
You know, and slide over the jeans and remind you that you're not really as lean as you would like to be. Or there are women who tell me that, you know, the only way the jeans button comes on is when they lie down on the bed and then they have to button it down, because just like that it's not coming on anymore. And all of these are things which happen only through crash diets. And now that even Kareena is here and she's sharing that, you know, she did feel a little insecure about how she's going to lose all this weight, but she decided to take it one step at a time and do it in a sensible, sustainable way. I think that has to be the biggest takeaway for all of us.
Yeah, of course. That,
You know,
of
that
course,
someone
has
as
to be.
beautiful and glamorous like you can also feel
because
like
I think
this.
it's amazing. I think the beauty of pregnancy is that you're bringing life into this world.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter what your size, shape, what it is. The idea is to just embrace it, like which I did with my pregnancy. And post-pregnancy also, I mean, I'm out and about and I'm flaunting my size. Whether
Yeah.
people feel that I'm still, you know, overweight, or that, you know, that I shouldn't be wearing leggings because maybe my thighs are looking too fat or my calves are looking too fat, but it doesn't matter because I've just had the most amazing child and I have an amazing support system. In friends, in family, in you know, my dietitian. Actually, like I said, I need a word for Rujuta as actually the magician. She has a wand which nobody can see. Somebody that I can always, you know, message and say that, listen, this is what, you know, I'm feeling, and she has an answer for it. She'll never not say don't eat this or don't do this, even if it's like, you know, I tell her, like, you know, if a girl feels that sometimes, you know, when you have your periods, your pressure comes low. There are so many things that a woman has to go through, and especially post-delivery. But her answer is never like, oh, okay, have electral pani. Oh, have this. Oh, have a glass of juice. Never. The answer is always like, listen, this is, you know, whether it's, you know, good with ghee, or, you know, she'll say have, you know, combinations that really, really work the system, work the gut. You know, it gives you that kind of energy and that glow on the skin. So I think that, you know, I'm having the best phase even after, you know.
Good, wonderful. I think you've had the best phase all the
Yeah,
time.
and no pressure at all. That should be the you know, the main thing, that there is no pressure. I think, like you said, you know, it's so many, like Karishma put on 26 kilos.
Yeah.
But she took a year and she loved it, and she, you know, she was like, I don't want to. And that's why, despite her taking that long, she did take that long. But look at her, yeah, she never gains any weight.
Yeah.
Because it's consistent.
Yeah, and she was eating at that time rice and fish curry every night, you know, because that's her favorite food. I think she was having one day rice and fish curry, one day upma. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, for her.
Your favorite dish is upma.
No, not mine. My favorite dish for Lolo is upma.
You never give me that. There was a phase long ago where it was like the first time ever dinner options were, one was upma, and I was like, who eats upma for dinner? And then when you ask her, she'll give you a list of benefits and like list of things that why, because it has the veggies in it, it has this, it has that. She'll like rattle off a whole.
No, but before I forget, I wanted to say that, you know, one of the best things for post-pregnancy, you know, to make sure that you're not dropping on your iron levels and not having any kind of skin issues and stuff, is to have RF, which is something that I've also written in the book Indian Superfood, because it's really, really rich in iron, and especially when you have RF along with jaggery and coconut as an RF laddu, that's when it really works wonders. The other thing is til chikki, you know, or tilkur, but again,
But not the whole package.
not the whole one. And another very good meal is bajra roti with ghee and
That's
gur.
been my dinner now for the last.
Yes,
along with
yes.
the khichdi,
Along
we've
with
been
the
eating
khichdi.
this. I had it, and I'm enjoying that because it feels soulful. It feels, you know, you feel like really nice and full. It's healthy with the vegetables. So I think, so basically people who want to know what I've been eating after delivery, lots of bajra rotis, lots of good, and 1 spoon of ghee every day.
More.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. So ghee, bajra, I think also milk every night.
Milk every night, because also like you said about the calcium levels, so we're keeping that up. So a glass of milk, that's what I enjoy. That I can have while watching TV.
Yeah, only that.
Yeah, not anything
Nothing
else.
Yes, and I think also you should tell them about exercise, because a lot of them want to go on like killing themselves in the gym, you know.
I think post delivery, I think the most important thing is that, of course, the stomach muscles, that kind of, because of course it takes a beating, it gets loose. But the fact is that if you're eating right, and the combination of a little bit of walking, because the most important thing is, when I asked my doctor, he was like, the best thing to do is walk. That's the best exercise in the world. And of course, Rujuta anyway always says, if you talk to her about any form of exercise, she's like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. The idea is that you are doing something, for whether, I don't think she recommends like more than 30-40 minutes. Earlier I was like, listen, I'm doing 1 hour 10 minutes on the treadmill. She just loses it. She'll be like, no, why are you doing that? Don't do this, don't do that. So now we brought it down to, because she's like, you will not be able to keep up with doing that, and that has its, you can't do it after delivery. Getting onto a treadmill also takes a lot of strength. So her idea was like, let's stick to a lot of, maybe a yoga and 20 to 30 minutes of a walk. And I think that has helped beautifully, that I'm doing that, and I think I already feel that my core is strong.
Absolutely. It's important to stay active, and I think one of the best forms of activity is to walk around as much as one can. And if you've seen Bebo, then she is a very active person. She can't really sit at one place for too long.
But I'm also the best. I do take a walk, because my son, if I sit with him in my arms, he starts crying. So he also wants to walk around.
Yeah.
So he is in his own way telling me also, and he's making me exercise. So I think walking even around the house, in the corridors of the house, absolutely. I think that gives you bonding time with him also, which gives me that time. And the fact is that I think I'm very happy that he loves to walk around. So I'm like pacing up and down the house, whether it's after, having my meal or whatever with him. I think he's already keeping me on my toes.
Yeah.
So he's preparing me for the future, for days to come.
Also, what happens is that when you stay constantly active around the house and don't sit in one place beyond 30 minutes, it helps you in your insulin sensitivity. Yeah. And once your insulin sensitivity is stronger, your body burns fat faster. It's able to replenish all of the calcium and iron stores. It's also able to replenish all of the lost amino acids or protein, that you've lost during your delivery. And most importantly, the more active you stay and the less you sit, the stronger butt you develop. And once you have a nice round butt is when the stomach really looks flat.
Yeah.
A lot of women, when they are getting a picture clicked of themselves, they suck their stomach in, but that really doesn't make you look like a very flat stomach person. If you really want the stomach to look flat in a picture, what you should do is squeeze the butt together, because that's when the stomach will sit inside the cavity and appear flatter.
Now everyone knows how to. So Rujuta is also, along as you can see with the dietitian and a doctor, literally, she also knows how to. She's a director in her own way.
I'm like watching her from 2007, I can't help it.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's amazing, and I hope that we can give some knowledge to so many women out there who want to know. Of course, everybody's question is also that how is she out and about? Why is she out and about? There are so many, I think that shouldn't be, the question.
I'll tell you what the normal thing is. The normal thing is for women to feel that now that they have this baby, their own life needs to come to an end. Instead of the baby being an integral part of their life, it's almost like their life needs to come to an end, and now it's all about this baby. And later, when they're menopausing, is when they regret all of these things. So I think
I sacrificed my whole life
Yes.
for you. That is what they want, I think, But I mean, of course, I'm sure, there are women like that. And of course, I mean, I would sacrifice anything. I mean, the fact that in fact, I told Rujuta that, that Saif was going to be at home.
Yes.
Because we got delayed with the chat because I told him that I'm going, for this chat. So I wanted him to be with them. And I said that I'll be back. And then the chat kind of got delayed, for some reason. And I was like, so he delayed his meeting a little bit so I could come to this chat.
Oh, how sweet. Thank you, Saif.
And so he's not, without one parent. And we are always going to try to do that. And if not, strapping him on and going for shoots is always a great option. I mean, that's amazing. But he's like Rujuta said, he's an integral part of our life. He's a part of us. And he is a part of Saif and me. That's what he is. He's born to us. So the fact is that, maybe next year strap him on and get him for the next Facebook chat.
Yes.
that would be like, what I would want to do. Not say that, I can't come, I can't do this.
Correct. Yeah.
I would want to interact with people, my fans, to know. And it doesn't mean that if you're out and about, I'm not trying to set an example. I'm just going on with my life.
Correct.
In a way where I feel happy and I feel content. And I want him to know that this is a part of us. And both his parents are actors. They are working couple. I mean, we've always been that. And I hope that, people appreciate that. That is the most important. And also, love is not, I think, showing that if you're staying at home.
Yeah.
And no one can question a love for a child or for anything or for, your parent. I mean, tomorrow, your girl gets married and goes to her home, her husband's home, but doesn't live with her mother or father. But does it mean that because she's left home, she loves her parents any less? I mean, she probably loves her mother even more. So, I mean, these equations are not even meant to be discussed. Like Saif is always like, don't even discuss this because this is something that just what you feel. It's something that's just natural.
And I think a lot of working women will draw some inspiration from that.
I hope so, because there are so many working women today. Women, I think wherever you go, you're only seeing women, either whether it's journalism, whether it's acting, whether it's in any field. Everyone, most doctors today, you're seeing. I see so many female doctors, and don't they also have children? So I think that there are so many working women out there. I think it's great to see so many. I think women are dominating the world today.
So Kareena, lots and lots of questions. Mostly you have answered. But very interesting question. Someone is asking that how come Taimur has such a nice hair? So what did you eat during your pregnancy that your son has such nice hair?
Oh God! Well, I know my son. Yes, he actually has a lot of hair, which is quite amazing, and lovely brown hair. But of course, I think as a baby, if you see, both Karishma and me had a lot of hair. I don't know what I ate, nothing in particular, so that he has hair. I always ate a lot of good foods for my hair not to fall during the pregnancy. I looked after that, Talking about hair, that how Taimur has so much hair.
Yeah.
But I didn't consciously eat something for that, but I ate in terms of so that I don't have, hair fall. I continued to eat a lot of foods which are, prevent hair fall.
Yeah.
Why don't you list a few foods so that people know that?
Rice is very good for the hair. Coconut is very good for the hair, which is how a lot of Kerala women have very good hair. A lot of Koli women have very good hair. And an undervalued secret to good hair is a handful of cashews every day, because cashews are very, very rich in iron, and they're also rich in magnesium, and a lot of times hair loss is nothing else but loss of minerals and vitamins from the body. That's exactly why post-pregnancy or sometimes as we age, we tend to lose our hair. Some women lose hair just because the season has changed.
Yeah.
And that just means that we are making do with a very, very compromised nutrient intake. And if that changes, because most women will not eat the malai after they have their nariyal pani. Most of them won't have rice. Most of them are scared of kaju, you know, like they'll have almonds but they won't have kaju. And if we just put all of these things back on our plate, we can keep our hair and flaunt it, and we won't even need to blow dry for the hair to look good.
We all have the dimple G bounce.
Yeah.
Which every girl wants. Till today she's, oh my god. I think we should call her and ask her that, do you eat kajus also? But she is very particular about her hair.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Lots of coconut oil and all. So that's amazing, and a huge fan. So I'm a huge fan of her hair.
I think even oiling your hair once a week, you know, I mean, that's something that helps, and a lot of times we kind of ignore that. And till again, because it is still till season.
You better provide tilka laddu in
I
my
am, yeah. I got you some tilka sweet from Kuwait.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
You know, so Kareena actually stalks my Instagram pictures, and if I put up something very nice, then she says, "Get me this." You know? So,
Yeah, I'm always like, whenever Lolo's always like, Rujuta, because Lolo's on Instagram. So I'm like, Rujuta puts up such amazing posts, and she sends me those pictures with delicious 3 things on those thali, whether it's bajra, roti, the little bit
that
of
was
the
because of you.
sabzi,
You only wanted
and then there's something, and I'm like, oh my god, vegetarian and such pure food, it looks so good.
Yeah. So I think she's a big believer of vegetarian food, and she was the one, when I met her, one of the first things that she said is, post a thali ka picture on Instagram. Because I think it was for the longest time that I hadn't posted one. So that's how I posted one just for you.
Yeah, I know, and so many, it can inspire so many people that, you know, eating healthy, eating right, they've still got that, you know, those 3 things which are so, you know, good for the system. I think it really, your Instagram account should be inspiring the world, which it is.
No, I think we should also talk a little bit about pulses, you know, because last year, 2016, was the UNFAO year of pulses, and one of the things that is also very integral to her diet is dals and pulses and lentils. And a big reason to use that is not just for the amino acid profile, but also for the fiber, and more importantly for the minerals. Because a lot of women feel this, that in the morning they feel that their ring is not moving, yeah, and after lunch the ring moves. Or some other women in the night, they feel like they're more tight on their bangles, and in the morning, bloated. Everyone's like, I'm not fat, I'm just bloated. A lot of the bloating is actually coming out of this whole deficiency of a variety of dals in our diet. And that's why what we are going to do today, after we end this, is also going to release a document on the importance of eating pulses in our diet. So we will release it on Facebook. We'll also put it on my website for anyone to download it absolutely free of cost, so that you know how it helps you with your hair, with your skin, with your teeth, with your gut bacteria. And more importantly, as we bring children into this world, how pulses really help in soil quality. Because the one thing that pulses do is that they fix nitrogen back into the soil. And the richer our soil is, the better the health of our children, because then they can have access to fruits and vegetables which are without fertilizers and chemicals and pesticides. So if we aspire to have good food for our children in the future, then we need to, at this point, patronize farmers who are growing dals and pulses, you know, ensure that they get the worth of those pulses and dals from us. And the only way that we can do that is to really make it a part of our diet, because it was always a part of our diet. Besan laddu and dal vadas, even vada pav, or you know, various dals.
That doesn't mean that everybody goes and has 5.
Kareena Kapoor approved vada pav.
Yeah, सब vada pav खाने जा रहे, 3 खा रहे हैं यहाँ पे, बोल रहे कि यार अरे I am feeling bloated. Yeah, so the idea is, of course, one.
Yeah, one. And now you have a glam face for it.
Yeah, just one.
Khichdi you eat so often.
Yeah, but I love pulses. I mean, I love my dals. I love my.
Yes.
In fact, a lot through the pregnancy, I have completely. I was freaking out on all pulses. Like I loved my rajmas and cholas and lots of yellow dals, moong dals. I think I loved it because I'm generally that kind of a person that I crave my bowl of dal.
Yeah, and also eats way more local than anyone else, and looks most exotic.
Yeah, I remember during jab we met, we were constantly traveling, remember?
Yeah.
Shimla, Manali, here, there, Leh, at different places. And Rujuta would keep changing this diet according to the destination. And like when I was in Ladakh shooting for Tashan, she was like, lunch would be like, 4 momos or thuppa. And I was like, are you serious? She was like, you have to eat the local food. You have to do that. So our diet would keep changing according to, each place. Like in Shimla, I remember lot of strawberries you gave me.
Yes.
Then you gave me the juice.
Yeah, apple juice.
Yeah, fresh HPMC, I remember.
Yeah.
You were like, HPMC, call for that. And I was like, oh my god, every morning I would wake up and be like, And I think I looked my best. So the goal is that we are going to get back to that.
Absolutely.
We're going to do that. We're going to eat local. We're going to, eat whatever is available to us. And that's what is easily accessible to everybody also,
Correct.
And I think this journey is getting documented in Rujuta's latest book.
Oh.
So we want to release the cover of that book also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Rujuta, how many books have written?
I don't know.
And how many are going to write? Size 0 to the pregnancy, to post-pregnancy, to everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's been that's what I said. It's been an amazing journey. Hopefully now, maybe again next year.
Yeah, next year.
We can do another book
Yes.
not size 0. We'll do like a nice.
Which one? For kids?
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, something different
Yeah.
for the skin or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in 2009, exactly on this date, on 14th Feb, is when you released Don't Lose Your Mind, Lose Your Weight.
Oh, and that is the.
Yeah.
I don't think there has been a book that's been so widely read and so widely appreciated.
And so much led to a trend of so many other diet books coming into the market.
But that's what I'm that now whoever you meet, they're like, you've written a diet book, you've written an exercise book, you've written some yoga book, something, and I'm like, yeah, but nothing compares to Don't Lose Your Mind, Lose Your Weight. That is what is important.
And I must also tell you that thanks to you and eating makhana right from the Chamak Chalo time, now in the theatres they're selling makhana. Do you know that?
And I need to get that. I should be getting the benefit. Royalty of makhana mujhe milna chahiye for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was the first time I remember when you told me that about makhana. It was during Golmaal 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, but what is makhana? She's like, no, the lotus stem is rich in iron, it has protein, magnesium. I was like, yeah, I don't know how the taste will be. And I remember that time she was like, it's available anywhere. So I was like, used to send my driver because I was shooting in Goa. So I was like, whenever I would come back for a 2-day break, I'd be like, Bandra ke sare makhana lekar. He was like, but ye milta kahan hai? Then Patel store started keeping makhana. So every time, and then the Patel store guy told my driver कि यार जब से करीना जी खाने लगी है तो ये सारे मखाने सब आ रहे हैं. Now everybody's in those makhana packets, and on the set everyone used to gobble my makhana.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Before that, you did the same thing to peanuts. The stores in Lokhandwala had stopped storing peanuts. You started eating peanuts. Everyone in Lokhandwala was eating peanuts.
We were in that,
Yeah.
Yes, Rujuta loves it. Yeah, peanuts, but it's so,
Very rich in resveratrol. The exact same reason why people believe that wine is good for the health. It's actually
so that we can compensate the handful of peanuts for a glass of
No.
See that she'll say, no. I'm like, but isn't that normal? See, there must be so many people that want to go out there and enjoy their glass of wine, Rujuta. You have to have something.
So I have to say this, that a lot of people who know that wine is good for the heart do not know that increase in wine consumption is also associated to risk of breast cancer. Now that's something that the media doesn't carry. It only continues to carry how it's good for the heart, but not about how it's how it will increase the risk to your breast cancer. So I don't want to scare anyone. Everything in moderation is good. Before you drink, make sure you have your dinner. So have your dinner.
Lots of water.
Yes. Ask the pro.
Ask the dietitian anyway. I'm half.
Yeah.
Anybody, all her diets I already know. I already Yeah, but then of course it's sometimes you like, okay, you don't want to follow, you're like, okay, it's fine. But then the idea is that, to get back on track.
Absolutely.
The immediate, that's the whole idea, is that to get back, keep getting back on track.
What Kareena is not telling you is that she looks at her week, way in advance, and then tells me when she's going to drink, if at all she's going to drink.
Yeah, if I have to have anything, even if a glass of wine, I will tell her before.
15 days in advance.
This is what it is. What should I do? Should I do this? What should I eat? So the idea is that obviously to, like she said, everything in moderation, including food in moderation.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Most people are like, okay, I'm only eating veggies tonight. I'm only like doing that. So that doesn't mean that we can just do this many veggies.
Yeah, because the more you fill your stomach, the stomach, if it gets filled so much, even if it's with just veggies or a low-cal something or just protein, the stomach can make out that it is so full, so most of the calories are going to get converted to fat, and you are going to feel dull and slow in your system just because you packed so much into your stomach. So that's the key, to get away from the table while you're still feeling light. I think we should release
the book cover.
the book cover.
And also the name of the book.
Name of the book.
Yeah, the cover. That's the most fun, because I love that. It's a...
Hey.
Can you read? Yeah. Everyone can see,
Everyone
no?
can see. It says pregnancy notes before, during and after. So all of Kareena Kapoor's secrets are going to be in this.
Yeah, this is cool. It's different. I love this
Yeah,
cover.
you love it, no?
Yeah,
Good.
this one is different. It's quite cool.
Yes.
It's a fun read.
And she's
All
going to
of
write
it,
a
sir.
chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have answered most of the questions.
Yeah,
Do you
of
wanna?
course.
If you
No,
want
if,
to
yeah,
take
if anyone wants to ask.
So we can close this online thing.
Wait, I just want to get one question online, because people have been really troubling me with this, and it could be a little weird, but they said, can you please ask Kareena, how does she look so glamorous and sweaty hair after yoga?
Oh God! Well, today also I just did Pilates. I think my hair, I'm sure I can't keep. But these days the paparazzi is following me outside the salon. Everywhere they're clicking me, and I'm like, oh God! They always at the wrong time. But yeah, I think it's the most natural thing, to sweat.
Of course.
And after a good, yoga or Pilates session, if you're sweating, I think it's normal. I am a normal girl. I sweat also. And sometimes I don't have time to wash my hair. I can't always turn up with blow-dried hair, perfect makeup. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. I'm a normal human being.
Of course.
So it's not like I don't sweat or glamorous women don't sweat.
But I think it's, it's the comfort that you have with your body which actually makes you look so glamorous.
I think that, but I think every woman should be like that. Every woman should feel like that in every phase of their life. So it's about the mental state, and the mental state is related to how much you eat.
Yes. And what you're eating.
And what
whether
you're
happy
eating.
with what you're eating.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with what I'm eating these days, and I think that's why I think I'm just feeling like, absolutely fine, and I don't mind whether I'm in my yoga pants or whether I'm in my, any kind of an outfit. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Cool.
Quick question: when is the book coming out?
I think April, and Kareena's just finishing her chapter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Whenever you decide,
Yeah.
is the perfect time.
Perfect time. I think by April we should be out with this.
Okay, so you can.
We should wrap.
Yeah, say bye to the live audience.
The live audience, yes. Of course, I think all fans, they always
Yours
wait.
from everywhere.
All my fan clubs, especially, so many of them on Instagram. They are so loyal. They literally, they are literally the backbone, for me. So I know they're all waiting, and they're tuned in, and they're going to take pictures, and they're going to put it out. And I think despite not being on any social media platform,
You're the most popular girl.
They keep me alive because I don't need to tweet, I don't need to be on Instagram because they're just so wonderful. And the fact that we're here talking about my pregnancy, post-pregnancy, I hope it's been informative, but of course the book will have a lot more information out there. But yeah, I mean, embrace every phase of your life like I have, to all the girls out there. That's the most important thing. Fat or not fat, eat right, eat correct, eat portions, eat lots of rice and lots of ghee.
Wonderful.